When you are researching the product, okay, so have you found anything that is shocking to you in masala product?
You take one packet, आपके घर में पड़ा हो तो, which is like 6 months old or a year old. Go buy a new one from the market. Open that packet. Both will be same. How is it humanly possible to produce food which does not have any difference a year old and a year later, without the help of salts, without the help of chemicals and starches? It's impossible.
Podcast के बाद में I think the masala sale will be dropped down. Like what is the three major things like we should take care when we are buying any kind of masala powder?
Look at the manufacturing credibility. Manufacturing credibility is
आज के टाइम पे फूड कॉम्प्लिकेटेड कर दिया है. न्यूट्रिशन वैल्यू इतना इतना लेना है, थोड़ा थोड़ा लेना है.
yes, we have, because probably misunderstood the idea of bringing science into our food. Because going back to traditional food was more scientific than any food that we can have today on our plate.
साइंस तो छोड़ दो ना. व्हाट इज साइंस? सौम्या मैम, ವೆಲ್ಕಮ್ ಟು ದ ಫೌಂಡರ್ಸ್ ಡ್ರೀಮ್. ನೀವು ಹೇಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಮೇಡಮ್?
Oh, namaste. Tumma ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Thank you for having me. And very, very delighted to be here. Thank you for this initiative.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming here. I think my first question is very obvious. The founder's dream. What is your dream?
Dream is to bring our heritage and culture to the forefront. As you all know, Karnataka is known for its culture, heritage, art, music, cooking. Our culinary expertise is worldwide. It's known worldwide. Our idli, dosa, sambar, rasam, anna saru is what we call as our basic rice dal, is something which is so global today. And people talk about it and also relish it throughout the world. Having traveled throughout the world myself, so I have seen different restaurants and places having this. But coming back to the dream part, is to bring the actual heritage and culture out in the public. So it has been diluted. The sambar and the rasam, what we find outside, is not what actually is consumed in a conventional, traditional Kannada household.
But why you can say this like this is the heritage, like you want to pursue it? Why?
We are defined by our roots, the place we come from, the culture we grew up in. Nam desha, nam nadu, nam language, nam bhashe, and the uta, the food that we have consumed, is what makes us. That's our identity. So when we go out in the world out there, we are identified from where we have come also. So if that has to come out, then we have to work. We have to go backwards, work from where we have come, and what is it that I can bring to the world outside, which is connected to my roots? What better than food?
So before that, have you started any startup, or you are working somewhere?
I have been predominantly a housewife all my life.
This is the first time entrepreneurship?
No. I have had. I still call myself a housewife in spite of running a full-fledged business. But I have been a yoga therapist for some time. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a prenatal yoga teacher and also a childbirth educator. That's my basic background. And for over a decade in US, I have taught.
It's Ramarasam, right?
Ramarasam.
Ramarasam. It's like slang like Ramarasam or Ramrasam.
Not Ramarasam. It's Ramarasam.
Ramrasam. Ramarasam.
Yes.
So why this name?
Why this name?
Yeah.
There are two different explanations for this. The first one is Ramarasam actually stands for purity. The purest form of rasa that is there out there is Lord Rama. So he's known for his purity, and the blessings that he can give us is so pure. Now, when it comes to rasam, the rasam part actually talks about the food rasam. It's actually not. Rasam is a tanmatra of sense organ tongue, which means the purest form of rasa is a devoted or a very divine rasa. So Ramarasam defines that. It also is another, it's a part of a song. Pibare Ramarasam is actually a song. It is a classical song. And when we had guests who came home to have food in our home, one of the guests sang this song after he tasted our rasam. He feels so divine that it feels like temple food. So at that time, I was looking for a name for my brand. I had already done everything, but I was just looking for a very, a different kind of a brand which has a name which has a punch. That is when I found this name Ramarasam to be very apt for the intention with which we make our masala powders and pickles.
You have thought about this
Yes.
name?
Yes.
You only?
Yes. My mother is my partner. So myself, my mom, and a few of the family members, we sat down and we said, yes, we are going to name this as Ramarasam.
No, but why startup? Startup is a very the founder's very lonely journey. Why you have chosen it?
Someone somewhere has to start, right?
But why? I just want to decode the mindset of the entrepreneur, because there are so many people in the out in the world. They want to start their own and they are not able to start it. And being a housewife, you have started it.
So probably that's the only thing we can do really well, right? We have grown up. So I belong to this I call myself the extinct race. For my age group, very few of them have grown up they've spent their vacation time with their grandmothers, but they have not grown up with their grandmothers and great grandmothers. I have grown up with my great grandmother and my grandmothers. And after marriage, I was still with my husband's grandmother. So a lot of grandmothers around me and a lot of ancient wisdom. So when we were living in the US, that is what kind of connected me back to India. Those the cultural moments that I spent, the upbringing, the formative years. And then when my friends would praise my cooking and say, "Hey, where do you buy your powders?" And I was like, "I make them myself." And that is how the journey began. So it's not something which started 1 or 2 years ago. It's almost more than a 15-year-old journey, and now it is coming out in the
So
public.
let's go to back and like how was your childhood?
Childhood was all about. I think the one thing that comes to my mind is beauty. I enjoyed my childhood to the fullest, with surrounded by grandmoms, aunts, uncles,
Joint family,
very
full.
big family, both sides, dad side and mom side.
How many
Very
person?
big. So my mom's family, they are a family of 8 sisters and 1 brother. And my dad's side, there are 7 siblings altogether, 5 brothers and 2 sisters.
Wow, big family. Nowadays, are you missing?
Oh yeah, a lot. That's the most missed part of our lives, where we have grown up celebrating every single day. And now it is a nuclear family, and then
Even I was grown up in the big family, joint family. So my father, they are 8 brothers, 2 sisters, then their children, almost 70, 80 members living together. Almost 15 years we were together after that. So you are talking about like grandmother, right? So any specific scientific trick they have taught you about your the food?
this is not just one trick. So the minute we talk about science today, we think about technology, and we think about chemicals or a laboratory. That's what comes to our mind, right? But our grandmothers actually ran a food lab. Kitchen is we have actually brought it down to a mere word of calling it kitchen. You know how you have really well-maintained labs where not everyone is allowed? You have to have a certain protocol. Only certain people are allowed into the lab. That's how our kitchens, our grandmother's kitchen was like that. No one would gain entry into the kitchen. She was like the custodian, the guardian of the kitchen, and everything was so scientifically made. Concoctions made, the masalas they made, the way it was prepared, everything, there was science behind everything. Each ingredient, each raw material was treated a different way. अभी तो सब कुछ लगाओ ऐसे, you saute everything on one tawa and then you make it into a masala. Then we have never seen that. That's the difference between how we make our powders and masala powders and our production unit as against a commercial place. So this is the protocol, is the procedure. We honor the process and the method, just like how our grandmothers did it. Including water, right? It was not given to us. It was supposed to be given to us. We could just not barge into the kitchen anytime. No one could just enter. Now what has happened, we have reduced it to a place where people meet, and even people are going in with shoes inside. But look at the hygiene aspect of it. The science behind keeping the kitchen one level next to the temple or the mandir. The mandir or the puja room in the house, how do we what is the decorum we maintain? We make sure that we have showered, we are clean, we go inside, we light a diya. Then it's a very divine space.
Now to everything is changed.
Yeah. And now we want to blame it to technology and modernization, but I don't know why this has to stop.
We are changing because everybody wants to live a nuclear family life. 3 people, husband, wife and kid.
So that is the root from where I come from. I grew up in an atmosphere where kitchen was as good as a temple, like a mandir. It was a very divine space. And she would worship that place. And when she's cooking, she would be chanting. She would ask us also to say something nice, not to shout while cooking, not to maintain a certain discipline. And it was also with the prayer that this food is taking care of my family. My family is going to grow and be healthy. This food is going to take care of the health of my family. That was the intention behind cooking. Not just nutritional value, how much protein, how much carbs, how much less oil I can put, you know. The ultimate idea, the intention behind cooking was to make it as divine as possible, as healing as possible. So anyone consumes that food would be healed.
करेक्ट। आज के टाइम पे फूड कॉम्प्लिकेटेड कर दिया है, लाइक
Yeah.
न्यूट्रिशन वैल्यू इतना इतना लेना है, थोड़ा थोड़ा लेना है।
Yeah.
So we
But again-
ourselves make it complicated, made it complicated.
Yes, we have, because we have probably misunderstood the idea of bringing science into our food. We've misconstrued the whole idea, because going back to traditional food was more scientific than any food that we can have today on our plate.
साइंस तो छोड़ दो ना मैडम, साइंस तो नोबडी नोज ना। अगर इसको पूछूंगा, मुझे पूछोगे, मेरी वाइफ को पूछोगे, बच्चों को पूछोगे, नोबडी नोज व्हाट इज साइंस। उनको ये थोड़ी पता है कि न्यूट्रिशन वैल्यू में ये साइंस का ये पार्ट होता है। दे जस्ट वांट
In layman's language, yes.
दे आर नॉट साइंटिस्ट, बट स्टिल इंस्टाग्राम रील मेड अ साइंटिस्ट। इसमें इतना ग्राम प्रोटीन होना चाहिए, इसमें इतना ग्राम कार्ब होना चाहिए, इसमें इतना ग्राम ये होना चाहिए, एंड मील ऐसा आपका होना चाहिए, बिकॉज ऑल रिच किड्स आर डूइंग लाइक, रिच किड आर ईटिंग लाइक दिस सेम।
That is because, like you said, it is Instagram, it's over information everywhere, and we do not know how much of it is valid, how much of it is true. But if you go back to our rice chawal dal, rice and dal, anna saru, what we call in Kannada, that's the aha food, that's soul food, right? You're tired, you go back home from a day-long work and you eat just that, you feel so satisfied. That is the beauty of
वो कहावत है ना हिंदी में भी कि आप पूरा देश घूम लो, घर की दाल रोटी जिस दिन खा लोगे उस दिन आपको एकदम सेटिस्फेक्शन हो जाएगा, और घर पे सोना उतना बढ़िया होगा जितना होटल में नहीं होगा।
Very true.
Correct.
Very true.
Okay, so now let's talk about your product. अच्छा, it's a 250-year-old property, right? Now again you are starting it. So how will you maintain that lineage?
So this is a recipe which is from different generations. It's not just my mother and her mother. It's from her mother. My dad's side, my dad's mother and her grandmother. So it's a mix of many things, because I've grew up with all of these people. I have taken a little bit of everything from everywhere, learned from the right people, the right way. Now, how do we maintain this is, our focus is on not just on scaling. Our focus is on honoring the process. So in my factory, I have only older women, all 60 plus. Okay? Why? Because they are the ones who honor our traditions, honor our methods. They don't want to speed up the process. They know इसमें 10 minute लगेगा तो 10 minute ही लगेगा. You cannot do it in 7 or 8 minutes. They honor that 1 or 2 minutes extra, or they're slow. Their approach is what we call samadhan. Samadhan vag mado is what everyone would say in the kitchen. Be calm. No, there's no rush. And when we employ these methods, obviously the outcome is going to be as traditional as we can keep it in the modern world today.
But ultimately तो you are doing business. But आपको भी skill करना पड़ेगा. But how you will do skill part? How you will, because every year expenses will be increasing, right? And the profit margin will be decreasing. So that time too you need to break your process and everything.
So for that, this was our biggest question when we started thinking of having a brand like this, right? The first question was, how would you maintain your quality and how would you keep the process as traditional possible when a point when you're growing and you're not able to keep it, right? So our research took us about 2 years with the experts, some of the experts involved in food technology, to how to keep it traditional even when we are scaling. So it's a mix of traditional methods and modern technology. So we have machinery. It's not like सब कुछ हाथ में ही बनता है. Handmade मतलब handmade with love with the help of modern technology. So what we do is we have split the idea of making masalas, the way we make it, into 2 or 3 different categories. Like how much of it is handmade, how much of it is processed, and how much process can be cut down. Minimal use of machinery. Because if I have to scale, ऐसे थोड़ी ना मिक्सी में या hand pound it, it's not possible. So I need to employ some machinery. How much can I reduce is our focus, not on the contrary. How much more machinery can I use? No, it's about how much less can I use. We are able to scale. We have the right kind of people working with us. Fantastic team. And Our aim is to have more people, so we are able to employ more people and support more households. And that's why our focus is 60 plus women.
Okay. What is the main basic difference between the masalas out in the market and your masalas? Basic difference.
So the commercial masalas are definitely something which is ruling the market, and they go by the market standards. Example, they have to put their masala powder in a certain price bracket in order to make it available commercially. One, it's mass produced. They cannot have any traditional value to it. Their idea and their entire focus is on scalability and competition.
But you talk about MDH. MDH started in the same thought process. MDH, have you know the full form of the MDH? I think Masani Di Hatti. They started with a very small shop and had the same ideology from the home ground. And I think the same ideology is still there, but still they are getting complaints.
So what happens when we are scaling is the outsourcing. So it's also from where we bring our spices, from where we order, from where we get. I'm not saying that it is 100% foolproof and we are able to stick to it. But back then when they started and where to our cut to 2025, we have the best technology. We have labs which can tell us that don't buy this. This is adulterated. Correct? And we have channels from where we have, that was not there. Even 10 years ago, it was not there. Now, I think it's a perfect timing for us to do the right thing. So, if we are following a certain dharma, so my dharma is I am not going to cheat people in the name of my brand just to make a certain number of amount of money, and I'm ready to put all sorts of chemicals into it. If I want to follow that dharma, I can still do it today. It's because of the technology. So, we want to use technology in the right way. Source things from the right sources. Like example, we get our products from certain places, farmers, direct farmers, where they do ethical farming.
Okay, ethical farming.
Yes.
What do you mean by ethical farming?
Minimal usage of pesticides, because it's impossible to grow without pesticides. The minimal and also graded pesticides, which is graded by the food department. This can be used. And natural pesticides, more so, to be more precise. So we source from there. Obviously, that raw material is slightly more expensive than the mass-produced raw material. This is where we differ.
Okay, see.
The difference between a commercial brand and Ramarasam is exactly this.
Okay, this is Ramarasam. This is a different brand, but there is no tag. If I will eat it, like how I will identify which is authentic?
So there are some home tests you can do at home.
Home test.
Yeah. You put the spice powder in a glass of water, it'll sink, it'll float. There are certain home tests. There are tons of those tests available on YouTube. You're most welcome to check those out and try it. Example, turmeric, there's a test for turmeric. There's a test for masala powders. So when they are using preservatives and when the masala powder does not have preservatives, there are clear demarcation which you can at home tests, DIY tests, you can test. One, the difference in taste. So there are two different stories to this. The first thing is the aroma, the flavor, and the traditional aspect of it. Anyone would know coming from India, this looks different. We don't sift it looks raw. As is, ghar mein kaisa banta hai, and the way it is put in the jar, the same thing goes into packaging. Our techniques of keeping the shelf life is through the process in which we make it. We take pride in it, not with the help of chemicals.
After talking to you, it's like your customer is outside India?
Yes.
Majorly. Why?
Because I think they value, not that India mein value nahi hai, aisa kuch nahi hai. It's definitely not like that. Awareness is more, and affordability, then accessibility. So I supply to temples. Hamara Ramarasam ka powders is known as temple style food. So we supply to different temples across the world, especially to US. They make rasam, sambar, puliogre, wangibaat or ye sab kuch with our Ramarasam powders, masalas, pickles also.
So it's a completely niche market. It's not for ordinary people like us.
It is for everyone. It is available. I will not go into distribution for the same reason. The reason why you asked is how are you able to scale and still keep the quality is because we do in smaller batches, small to medium batch. Small batch ऐसा नहीं है कि हम 5-10 kgs करते हैं, ज़्यादा करते हैं. We have employed the right kind of methods to keep it traditional. One. And it is always on pre-order. It's always on pre-order. You want the best things, then you have to wait. Now you want a tailored suit, you have to wait for your suit to get ready. If you're ready to go buy something from the market which is readily available, so be it. That is also available. But what do you want? You want what something perfectly fits you, then you have to wait. You have to put that extra effort. Order karo, ek hafte ke liye you wait, 1 var 7 dina is what takes for us to supply. So now we have a steady number of orders which comes in through our website, through our Instagram profile, our Facebook, WhatsApp, and our website. So we know that this much order will be there. So we keep that ready. So constant production happens.
So now it's completely B2B market. So now I understood like how it will be scaled.
B2C.
B2C.
Customer can directly buy from us.
But
Through our
B2B
website.
majorly is there B2B.
B2B is for temples.
For temples.
Yes, for temples.
Majorly for them.
Yes. Yahan pe bhi, even in Bangalore, few people buy from us.
So like when you are researching the product, okay, so have you found anything that is shocking to you in masala product?
To your question that you asked me in the beginning, why did I start? First thing is passion, dream, heritage, culture, roots, ये सब एक जगह पे. The second side of it is, a lot of the commercial masala brands were recalled, were banned or recalled, because it had high levels of pesticide. Why? Abhi aap any commercial, I'm not going to name any of the commercial brands. You take one packet, abhi ab aapke ghar mein pada ho to, which is like 6 months old or a year old, you will get it. Which is unused ko to you will get it. You open that packet, go buy a new one from the market, open that packet, both will be same. You please tell me, how is it humanly possible to produce food which does not have any difference a year old and a year later? Without the help of salts, without the help of chemicals and starches, anti-caking agents, it's impossible. So that means we're consuming more chemicals than real food.
Like so many people are thinking about if it's a homemade food, it's a healthy food. Is it correct or wrong?
So I have a counter question for that.
Please ask me.
What comes to your mind when I say unhealthy food?
Pizza, burger, only two. Apart from this, all
Junk food. The minute I say, what is healthy food? Unhealthy food, you'll say?
Pizza, burger.
Junk food, basically. Any kind of junk. Street side food, all of...
Or oily foods.
Yes.
All junk foods, correct.
What if I told you that homemade meals are also equally hazardous? Not just unhealthy, highly hazardous. Because of store-bought, commercially made masala powders.
Because of only masala powder.
Basically. Why? If we are boiling our vegetables and eating without adding anything into it, that's probably the only person who is going to be safe from all these hazardous chemicals. In order to make it available to the public, to have something which does not change over a period of time, and then obviously these companies will have to use these agents just to keep the company running and going. Now, it is the morale of the founder or the company which comes into the larger picture is that part here. The side of the story which I was trying to tell you about, why I started, is the main reason when I saw this recall, and many of the Indian kids or people who are consuming Indian masalas are by and large at mental health risk. Why? Because the kids are hyperactive, they have ADHD or are on the spectrum, is because predominantly the masala powders that we're using which are store-bought. This is why in the West, clean labeled foods have more value than here, because we have awareness. There everything comes out. There's people talking about it on different forums. Kya khana hai, kya nahi khana hai, what to avoid. Not with any confusion, but with scientific evidence.
आप तो ये बोल रहे हो मैडम कि मसाला जो घर में पड़ा वो भी नहीं खाए अब तो.
Look for clean labels. What is the meaning of clean labels? The minute you see numbers after your ingredients. So it is very hard. I know it's a very tough period to live now, where whatever you read and see, you cannot believe. I agree with it myself. I have gone through it. But when you say, it's like spaceship ka numbers. INS 551, INS 221, 220, and so on and so forth. Different kinds of words and numbers for these chemicals. So you can find all of these on your chips packets, masala packets, all of this. They have to mention.
Correct.
So when you see that, it means that it is not edible.
Hmm.
Simple.
ठीक है mom, इस podcast के बाद में I think the masala sale will be dropped down. Like what is the 3 major things like we should take care when we are buying any kind of masala powder?
Look at the manufacturing credibility. Look at the ingredients.
Manufacturing credibility like how much? 3 months, 2 months wala?
Manufacturing credibility is the brand itself. The name of the brand, what it stands for. Do they stand for good quality stuff? Do they stand for what they actually mean on the label? Most of us know. It's kind of a. I'm talking about I'm mainly speaking about or speaking for the urban population, the fairly educated, the people who are having an idea, conscious eaters, like conscious consumers. They want to know what they're putting on their kids' plate. They want to make sure that they're eating clean and they're not buying something which is like one what is that called? Ek le lo aur dusra free. No. It's impossible. In today's market, everything is soaring. The prices are soaring. You cannot have anything at a cheaper rate. If your ingredients are good quality, grade A quality, there is no way you can have something for 50, 60 rupees or even 100 rupees. So, how much is my health valuable? What is the price that I'm able to or ready to put for my health and my well-being and my family's well-being? 1-2 हजार से कुछ नहीं होता. That is what you will be spending if you're buying good quality food. Correct? And one hotel food outside, if you sacrifice, you can buy very good quality food for your pantry.
अच्छा ये बताओ मसाले में जो एडिक्शन भी हो जाती है कि मतलब मुझे इसी ब्रांड का चाहिए एडिक्शन, मतलब यही ब्रांड का मेरे को मसाला चाहिए तभी वो अच्छा लगता है, वो चाट मसाला, दैट सांभर मसाला, व्हाई इट इज सो एडिक्टिव?
I don't want to call everything bad and everything is full of laced with preservatives and chemicals. No. First, taste is very subjective. Very subjective. Aapko tangy, sour, huli, you like that kind of food. I like little bit sweetish. That's very subjective. So it's not like, everything out there is poisonous. Taste is very subjective. First thing. Second thing is adaptability, right? Like from which area, which geographically, demographically, which area you have come from. That is what is the main reason why you eat a certain type of food and like a certain type of food. So when you're liking some things and if you are in the habit of liking good things, then you will identify the good thing. Now, to the other side, why do kids crave for certain chips, certain junk food? At the same time, I did an experiment with my own kids. I'll come to that. Why? Because they have taste enhancers. They have MSG.
MSG.
Yeah. They have all sorts of preservatives and chemicals in going into those foods which can increase the sales of that particular product. So without batting an eye, you'll be like, no, I want that brand only, I want that. Unless you have the eye for good stuff and you identify good things in the market, then you will definitely reach out to that in the aisle and say, yes, this is what I want. Or order it from us, from the website.
अच्छा जो भी any founders there, like when they started any company, somebody is pushing to them. Who pushed you in this trap? In this founder's trap?
I think it's been there for a very long time. It's that inner voice has always wanted me to do something which I can stand up for, which I've always stood up for. Traditional way of living, always standing up for what our cultural aspect, the roots from where we come from. I've always led a life like that. We all wear 9 yards and coke at home. Nawari mein. My mom till today she wears. My grandmothers wore. My mother-in-law wears it. We have grown up in such an atmosphere. And so this, to bring it out, someone has to come forward. Right? One. And also the support system. It's impossible to come out and say, oh, I had it in me and then I came out. No. My first backbone is my husband and my mother, my in-laws. And above all of these people are my kids. Both my kids are the real reason why I'm here today. So we, like, in a regular conversation when you're talking at home, I say, I want to do this. मेरे फ्रेंड्स ऐसे थे ನಾನು ಈ ಥರ ಬೆಳೆದೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಅಜ್ಜಿ ಮನೇಲಿ ಹಿಂಗಿದ್ದೆ ಹಂಗಾಯಿತು and all of these and also conversational pieces where my friends have been very very fond of the food that I eat in my house, the cooking, these general conversations and we would have and I would always tell them that oh, it's my dream to start something like this. I've always dreamt of doing a masala business. because I know for a fact that I have seen so many brands, so many families, so many different types of tastes. And I know that we stand out. We definitely stand out for our authenticity. So then both my kids were like, then what's stopping you? Why haven't you started it? Then I was like, no, I don't know. Forever I have always thought that, oh, array, kids are young, not now, not now, not now. Then they said, now we have grown up. Why are you not doing anything? Come on, I think you should start doing it. That one spark. So that day, after the conversation, so we all dispersed, they went to their rooms and whatnot, and sat down. I was silently sitting and pondering over those facts. Okay, correct. Why not? And one simple Google search, spice market in India.
How much it is?
Nahi, no estimation, nothing, no figures. Itna hi, spice market in India. I wanted to know how it is. Because this dream is 15-year-old dream. That time the market was different, the information was different. There were not even, proper systems which could support the business as against what we have today. Then that Google search changed my entire perception, my idea. That was a spark. That conversation at home about why I didn't start my masala brand and what is stopping me from doing it, and my kids supporting me, like, we will support you.
Every time is right time to start.
And when I Googled, the 60% of the market is still untapped, but the estimated global spice export market is $4.5 billion, which is the latest I'm telling you, which is 2024.
Correct, ma'am. Correct. Absolutely. So, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗೆ ಮಿಷನ್ ಏನು? Correct bola kya?
Yes, very good. Fantastic. So, ನನ್ನ company vision, and our ultimate goal is ಮನೆ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ರಾಮರಸಂ.
हर घर में रामरसम होना चाहिए.
Yes. We have a variety. So, the SKU is designed in such a way that people who love to make home cooked food, we have our masala powders. People who like to just add on as an accompaniment, chutney pudis, pickles, we have that. And people who would like to munch on things which are Karnataka flavors, we have savories. We have chakli, korbale, mixture, and so on and so forth. That's our another vertical called Namma Tindi.
ನಮ್ಮ ತಿಂಡಿ.
Namma Tindi, our snacks. Yeah. And to another audience who have no time to cook and who would love to taste our food home cooked, we have a cloud kitchen, a Ramarasam cloud kitchen.
कहाँ पर है ये? Where it is?
It's in the same place, the production house where, in Bangalore only.
तो यहाँ तो नहीं आएगा ना इधर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक में, it will not come.
It will when you order from the cloud kitchen, yes.
बहुत बढ़िया मैम. Absolutely. Any one thing you want to tell to aspiring entrepreneur?
I am not in a position to advise anyone.
No, absolutely you are. Why? Because you have started, you are doing fantastic job now. Thinking and starting are two very different things. Everybody is thinking. I was thinking to do my startup for at least 7-8 years. I have not done it. After that, I have started it. So one message can be for any woman entrepreneur also.
Go with your gut feel. Your gut can never be wrong. That's the inner voice. That's the inner voice that God has gifted every single person out there. Go with your gut feel. More than market research, market analysis, today is a fantastic era that we are all in. It's an information era where we are able to derive and get 10-year plans also with the help of ChatGPT, right? But that's not the only factor which you should depend on. You should depend on that inner voice. Because the masala industry is a jam-packed industry. It is chock-a-block. I don't think there's room for anyone, right? But if you look at it, how many of them are actually making traditional homemade things, but also being able to export it, commercially made it available on Amazon, on the website, D2C as well as B2B? That is where I felt that, yes, this is something that, so we have to look at the factors from where, try out different things. More than that, listen to your gut feel. One, courage, right? Like, testing the waters is one thing and jumping into it is another thing.
Right.
You have to have your fallback options, your backbones. Build a team, build a strong team. Without them, nobody can survive. No one. Because there's only so much you can walk. After that, you have to rest and take a sip of water, rejuvenate and get back. Someone has to be there to give you that water. That is very important. And that writing down goals, the vision mission that you have, the dreams that you get, all of this documented can really take us to a very, very long run. Because when you read back, when you read those journals you've written, that is what will again push you forward. So these are tools. So employ these tools. It's not just, just an idea.
I think wish you all the best, ma'am. You have done very fantastic job, Naid. And business should be scalable, full scalable.
Thank you. We are wishing and hoping and praying for the same, and with the support of Namma Karnatakada Janate, who are all, global now. So we export to US and we ship. So we through air freight, we send it to different countries. We send it to even to Australia, Dubai, US, UK, Switzerland. We're not exporting, but we are doing shipping. So we are available in all sorts of avenues. Courier में चाहिए, air freight में चाहिए, export में चाहिए, D2C, Amazon में चाहिए, सब जगह है.
Everywhere you are. But I have seen one thing in your website. There is no marketing like in Instagram. You are not there.
They are not able to give us any results. So what I did was I took a step back. I increased the same money I put it in offline marketing. We started participating in events, putting up stalls. I stand in the stall. I talk to people. I tell them I am the founder and I have founded this. They have different varieties to taste. And then with that, our sales boosted. Word of mouth. This marketing I scaled up rather than doing Instagram. Why? Because I wanted as a founder understand and do this. I say blindly run because everybody is running, everybody is saying do this, performance marketing karo, ye karo, wo karo. Correct, I'll do it, but I have to know whether it is the right thing to do or not.
It's for you or not.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming in this show.
Thank you so much.
It's great conversation we have.